Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. We have a brand new Heroes Path live in game, the Hunter's Path, which can give you potentially. We come over here a 5-star soul for Gretel and a 5-star soul for Hansel, but at what cost? And what path should you take or not take in order to get there? I'm going to break that down here in this video. As we always do. It's actually been a while. It's been a while since we've done one, but here's the path in game. Number one, how do you get points for this path? And also, number two, you do start with one key. You start with one key for free, so that's nice. You get points by leveling and ranking up champions, so basically champion training, but it's not going to count ascensions or books or anything like that, just levels and ranks. And then summoning champions from shards, so summon rush. It's based off of your shard type. That's what we've got going on. Let's jump back over to the Photoshop document to break it down. And yeah, we take a gander. As I said, you do have Hansel and Gretel souls in here. They're both there, but they're behind different keys. How are we going to get them? What are we going to have to do? Well, let me show you the red path. So the red path is basically the path that you would take if you like red stars and you really, really want to get both Hansel and Gretel souls. Honestly, the top of the path, everything is the same, and you've got sort of lots of different interlinking branches. You can go whichever way you want. I think, and this is very much up to you, like maybe the energy, the rarity charm. I think probably the medium extract or oil or whatever it's called, the medium stuff from Phantom Shogun is probably a bit more valuable than just two of the dust. It's really annoying to farm the medium stuff. And the 6-star glyph is kind of nice. So I'd probably go down that side, but you can go down that side, this bit as well if you want. It's not a huge deal. Then I would go for the 5 red essence personally, and then open up this lock with the key, get your Gretel soul, grab the 6-star glyph, and then grab another key, and then you can actually you should be able to just zip along the side. Again, I would probably go for the essence, open up the other lock, and get Hansel. In fact, now I think about it, I probably would get the Hansel soul first because he's better, and then get Gretel after, assuming that you've got both of them. So I'd get the Hansel soul and go down. Again, the paths are identical. You've got the 6-star speed glyph on both sides, which is actually really nice. I mean, if you go this far, honestly, I'd probably be grabbing this 6-star speed glyph as well, just to say I would definitely add that on to this path. But yeah, that's sort of where you're at. But how much does that cost? Well, that's going to cost you 127,000 points. If we work that out, let's go 127,000. I'll do it with my mouse here just because we're recording. If I divide that by, it's 4,500 for a sacred shard, right? So for sacred shards, 28 sacred shards, guys. Do you have 28 sacred shards to spare? Probably not. So it's super expensive. I will say what is interesting is that almost all of that cost, a big chunk of that cost, I mean 100,000 of it, is within the actual souls themselves. So on some paths, like we've seen plenty of heroes paths before like this, where it might be 80, 90, 100,000 for just like one champion soul or just one champion. And you have to spend a lot of points to get there. The way they've laid this path out, it is actually relatively cheap to get there, but then the souls themselves are just really expensive. But yeah, it's not like you're spending, 50,000 points to get to the souls. Most of the cost is just the souls. Is that worth it? In my opinion, probably not. In fact, definitely not. Like, there's no, let me say, for me, definitely, there's no way in hell I would do this. I didn't go for Hansel. I could have gone for Hansel. I could have got Hansel. I could have won that champion chase tournament. I did not think it was worth doing, even though I was super close, right? You guys saw my void shard pulls. I could have done it. I didn't. Actually, I would have probably sniped it at the end, but I slept in because I had a bad week. I slept through the end of it. But yeah, Hansel and Gretel, I thought they were kind of fun together in Arena, but I'm just like, man, putting all of that gear on these champions, like that would probably that's better used on better champions. Like, you just don't really have the gear, in my opinion, to gear them up and to use it for how niche they are. You can't afford to put that quality gear on them, and then it's sort of like, what's the point? They're fun to have, but I just don't see it being worth it. Like, if I got both of them for free, 5 stars, and there was like free gear change all the time in the game, sure, I might use them sometimes for fun, but that's been sort of my take on it. They were better than I expected, but not good enough to be worth it. And I think that's my take on the souls as well. Like, the souls are it's really strong to get souls for these champions, but I'm not too pushed. I would much rather get the upcoming fusion, stock the broken. Let's see how you guys think about him, actually. I put up a poll, so I jumped to blindingly white. I put up a poll last night. We got about 2,000 votes. 57% saying stock is A tier, 29 B tier, etc. I think for me, I'd be thinking he's like A tier, probably A plus. I don't know. I thought he was very strong. I'm pretty interested in him and checking him out. We'll see when the playtests happen. But I'd be, rather than getting souls for these champions, I'd be much more interested in picking up a soul for Stock the Broken, potentially, because I think he could really benefit from a soul. If you're doing any solo dungeon content, the soul itself is strong. And, getting that resistance and accuracy, you need both stats for dungeon solo stuff, often resist and accuracy, the HP, the defense, it all comes together to be pretty darn good. So I'd be much more interested in saving stuff for him or saving for the future. I'm not too taken with this, but there's other paths we can take. Yellow path. The yellow path, the sort of colon, is, again, a rough recommendation. I think that this is the best, but you can really switch it. You can go whichever way you want. I think this is probably the best. And then using your free key to open up this, grabbing the Immortal Soulstone, 2 legendary books, and then the Eternal Soulstone. All that stuff is really nice. It is also quite expensive, though, 65,000, so sort of like half the cost, right? Half the cost. You get 2 legendary books, 1 Immortal, 1 Eternal. Again, for me, unless you're pulling shards already, that's not worth it. But if you are pulling shards, right? If you want to pull shards, chasing one of the faction unities, if that is something you are doing, and you collect 65,000 points, you could get 1 soul for one of the champions, or you could get this stuff in the middle. There you go, right? If the champions were useful, the soul is way better, but because the champions are not useful, this is also worth considering for sure. Then we've got the green path, which is something more akin to what I might actually do if I do some champion training, right? Sort of along the way, which is minimal dip in. So, just grabbing energy, some rarity charms, and then these middle things. This would be my priority over here, right? Would be this one. Yeah, I'd be going down this way. This is my way. I'm just going for these nice middle potions because they're a pain in the ass to get. Grab some energy, some rarity charms. They're more rare along the way. You get a lot now from Live Arena, 5 battles a day, or 5 wins a day, and grab this. I do that. That's 4,000 points. You can do the same on the left-hand side for these. Again, the medium potions. You could also, if you want, just grab some of this dust, re-rolly dust. I think there's also something to be said for just if you get a good chunk of points, like you get 4,000. If you have 10,000 points, right, you could do 4,000 down here, and then it's actually 14,000. Then another 10,000 down to the red essence. That's somewhat decent as well. 5 red essence is kind of nice. There's 20 gray essence over here. I would definitely value the red. I'd value the accuracy glyph more, but then I'd value the red essence a lot more than the silver. So that's something you can do as well if you happen to be doing a lot of champ trading. Also, bear in mind, right, let's say we come down this way. Let me actually make another tab, but we come down this way. We grab this stuff. You can grab this glyph. Then you could just come over, unlock the key, and you could go grab yourself an Immortal Soulstone. That's an option as well. That's a decent option too. You've got the free key. You can just grab the Immortal Soulstone and get out. So I think that's a potential path you could do as well. But yeah, I'd say definitely for someone just going in low investment, just grab a couple of bits at the top. They don't really matter at all. But definitely these medium oily stuff is the way to go. I think the dust is fine as well. And yeah, you get it. So there you go. That's this path. For me, this is definitely a big old skip. I do think that the shard events are decent, like more so for spenders, right? But if you are a spender, look, all the faction unity champs are coming back this weekend. You might be going for some of them. For me, I think I'm happily skipping everything. I'm happily skipping. I'm waiting for more stuff in the future, right? The upcoming fusion, anything that happens, like there's probably going to be a bunch of stuff, let's be honest, happening in December. Waiting for that is sort of my vibe. So there you go. That's my take on it. I've got 66 coins so far. And yeah, probably not going to be getting all that much more than that, to be honest with you. Thanks for watching, though. Hopefully you enjoyed and that was helpful. I guess you could also buy coins if you want. Whatever. See you next time. Goodbye.